We've got tech news. That's what we do. We pull up tech news. We comment on tech news. We've got a lot of it to offer our very,
Uninformed opinions.
yeah, very uninformed opinions. Now, we've been doing this a while. We know a thing or two.
No.
We may not have the most popular opinions, but we have opinions, right? So let's go ahead and pull up
Sure.
some of that news. We'll start with Microsoft. We'll work our way through. We got some Apple. We've got AI news. That's about it. It's a good mix. Starting with some Visual Studio 2022. This is the mainstream mainstream channel here. The VS 2022. We're not talking about preview. We're talking about the what is it? RT, not RTM. The GA release
Yes.
of Visual Studio GA. So some performance improvements in this version.
Yes, the most exciting part about this is the fact that we're going to get .NET solutions loading faster. So I'm pretty keen about that.
Faster Razor colorization, that makes me happy. That means Blazor development will be faster. Windows Forms Designer loading speed for folks that are building Windows Forms apps. Here we're going into details on the Razor stuff. This has been kind of a sticky issue for a bit, so I'm happy to see it getting attention.
Okay.
Roslyn and Razor, they kind of like desync somewhat. And I think in Visual Studio Preview, which I actually have open on my machine, I don't know if I'm not getting any warnings in it now. I was getting like a boatload of warnings in the preview version of TypeScript errors, but I wasn't writing TypeScript code. So I was like, that's an interesting one. So glad to see that kind of got fixed, probably along with this other Rosalind stuff. Faster solution load.
Yeah.
About 50% faster. Importantly for our users, 10% reduction in time to open a solution. There's also something one of our viewers showed me today that I wasn't aware of. Thindle, he's not in chat right now, but he was talking to me about dev. Let's see, what is it called? Dev Drive.
Right.
Yeah, it's part of Dev Home. But that is another optimization that you can use to load things faster in Visual Studio. So I guess it's some kind of tweaked file system that does really good with small fragmented files. So you're talking like NPM, stuff like that. Throw it in a dev drive, see if it performs better. Plus,
we're all still
get
stuck
the
in the world of
here.
Visual Source Safe remote resource loading. We'll never leave until we get like super fast networks, I guess.
Welcome to the show, Aztec Consulting. Nice to see you back. Yeah, so that's the latest Visual Studio update. Along with that is some TypeScript updates. We got a new release candidate for TypeScript 5.5.
We actually have the actual. We actually have 5.5 is out now.
Yeah, because we didn't do show for a couple days or weeks, so this is old news now to most people. Still
actually, it is. Well, 5.5 is now shipped. So there you
go. The release is out. I imagine these are all things that were released with it. What's new in TypeScript? Inferred type predicates.
Yeah, this one's getting a lot of traction.
So these are probably things we have in C# land already, right?
Of course, you had to go
they're equatable things. Well, it's inspired. TypeScript is inspired by C#, so it's natural that things flow the way that they do. So we've got that, and that's all a whole blog post detailing this?
Yeah, it's a major feature of 5.5.
All right. That's quite a bit of reading there. There's a lot in this release. Holy cow. Control flow narrowing for constant index access. I don't know what that means. Do you know what this means?
So being able to narrow expressions in the form of an object reference where both the object and, in the case, the index or the key are effectively constant.
Okay, gotcha. I feel like the Austin Powers scene where he's talking about time travel and he's like, I've gone cross-eyed. I'm just gonna nod my head and agree. Yeah, sure, I get it. TypeScript import from JS docs. Let's see, we can't go scroll through every single one of these, but we'll kind of try to hit them here. Regular expression syntax checking. That is actually pretty cool. I like that idea. I saw a funny post today on the social medias. You know the Rick and Morty meme where he's got the little robot and he's like, "What is my purpose?" And he's like,
Yes.
"To pass the butter." And he's like, "Oh." It was Chat GPT, and it's like, "What is my purpose?" And it's like to write regular expressions.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah, because
So this does
nobody
a
really.
comment. This does a comment injection here to tell you where the problem may lie. Is that right?
Oh, yeah, nice. It's actually putting like a on what do you call it? Like a pointer
Yeah.
telling you where the issues are, like
Mm-hmm.
a underscore squiggly thing.
Mm-hmm.
Very nice. I like it. Wonder what do we have in Visual Studio that does that? Nothing. No, I haven't written a regex in forever. Let's see, new support for ECMAScript set methods. We talked about the new ECMAScript stuff a couple
Uh huh.
shows ago.
Uh huh.
Isolated declarations, the config directory template for configuration files.
Yeah. All of it
I
is. There's a
yeah,
lot of stuff in this. The biggest one is the inferred type predicates. That's the biggest one.
I don't write enough TypeScript to know exactly how impactful this is. So if you are writing TypeScript, let us know if we should be celebrating in the streets or something. Like
Come
we
on.
should have a parade for this feature. John says it's important. I trust him. Visual Studio um, automatically updates through Microsoft updates.
Yes. Yes. I
So
think
this
this is
is
a good thing.
actually, yeah, a good thing.
Yes.
So this is something that can be controlled by policy, which I think is going to be a big help for folks in the enterprise world
Yep.
because,
Keep those lazy developers up to date.
it's not only that, like, there's probably right now a policy hole that they have to leave open for like random things that are updating outside the Windows update tool. So
Hmm.
they probably have to have access to, admin things on their system and stuff that
Yeah.
they
Fair.
may not have to have now. This probably secures up some things.
Yep.
So, and it
I
also
hear
puts
a
everything
million
all in one
voices
place.
crying in horror, but I think that this is a good thing. So
Yeah. One of the things that's actually nice about this stuff getting centralized, like, have you ever tried to uninstall .NET from a
yeah,
system? It's
it's
actually not hard
horrific.
now. It
No,
used to be
it used to
bad.
be, yeah, but yeah, it can
Now
be
it's
horrific.
yeah, now it's under the add remove program stuff, and you just say,
And you could
add
also
remove
uninstall it
programs.
via the CLI as well.
Yeah,
So
unless you're
lots
on
of
an
options.
M1 Mac.
Ah,
Ran into that the other day.
okay,
Had to go in and physically delete files to get it out of the Mac
wonderful.
OS. So yeah, that tool does not work. I don't know why,
Hmm.
but it just, if you go to the docs, it's like, don't try this on an M1 Mac. It's like
Oh,
crossing the stream in Ghostbusters. It says it right there in the docs, I swear. You can go look it up.
yep. All
Don't
right.
do that.
Hey, dude, I believe you.
Announcing the official OpenAI library for .NET. I've actually been using this,
Hmm.
and it's been in preview. So it's something
Yeah,
that's been out there. It's just been in preview for quite a while. So this is the 1.0 release.
there you go.
So they announced this at Build. They're this says the beta. Is it still in beta? I thought this was the GA of it. Because I've been
I
using
think it might not
this
be
for some
fully released
time
yet.
here. OpenAI .NET. It's a pre-release of OpenAI. Okay, so it's still in beta. I don't know why they're saying they just released it. I feel like I've been using it longer than what they're saying. Maybe I had
Okay.
early access. I might have had early access because of MVP community stuff. So now everybody gets it's a part of the preview, I guess. You still, I think, have to sign up for the service to get it. I don't know if you're allowed to pay for that yet. The OpenAI service
OpenAI. No,
through
you can pay for
Azure.
OpenAI. Oh,
OpenAI you
through
can.
Azure. Yeah.
Azure, maybe that's what this where I'm hitting the disconnect here.
Okay.
Okay, so this is the OpenAI package. There is also an Azure
Yes.
OpenAI as well. So this is the one that I thought was going GA. This is also in pre-release. It's also beta 2, which makes me wonder what the difference between the two of them is. If you want to use Azure OpenAI, that one was a preview, like a sign up only preview. And I'm not sharing the right tab. So there's open azure.openai or ai.openai, and then there was the OpenAI API. So, which the Azure one does both. So I don't know if it's a dependency on the other one. Again, I'm going cross-eyed. See if it has any. Where's the dependency thing at on this? Used by? Oh, dependencies. Ah, there we go. That explains more. See, it depends on the OpenAI. So they abstracted it here, where it used the way this used to work is depending on what type of let's see right here, it probably shows it. Depending on the Azure OpenAI client that you construct and what parameters you feed it, it'll either go to Azure AI or OpenAI, which, they're both Microsoft. I don't know what the difference to them is, but it looks like they pulled the OpenAI bits out and put it in a separate package, and then now that is a dependency of this one. That makes sense. Did I explain that good? Did I get that okay? Did everyone follow me on that one?
No comment. I'm just. Hey,
they
man,
used to all
own.
be one, and then they took the OpenAI bits out and moved it to its own thing and just call it from the Azure OpenAI.
Just
bits
include it.
whenever
Would you
you want to
just
use that.
download and include the dependency, please?
Try it today. I'm a good salesman for Azure OpenAI.
Oh yeah.
They're gonna hire
.NET
me.
Aspire Developers Day coming up. There you go.
Yeah.
July 23rd. Book your calendars now.
Yeah, this what do you call it? Aspire just went GA with the last build.
Yeah.
So this hasn't been GA too long. So this is a nice opportunity to jump in and learn about what is officially in the release. And I got some mouse lag just throwing me down the page. Oh, nice. They've got a keynote session. You see, if you're familiar with the teams, Maddie, it looks like she's moving over to Aspire from being PM on Maui. So I think she might be changing some teams there. I'd have to check and see.
I know a few of those folks. I know Mitch. I know Dan. So good to see them speaking. That's awesome.
Yeah, so jump in, get interactive with folks. It's a good chance to ask those guys questions as you're learning, and it's free. So make sure you put that on your calendar for July 23rd.
There you go.
Oh, I've got a repeat in here. This is the OpenAI thing again. We also had a big Apple event. There we go. WWDC was a couple weeks ago when we were kind of in our off period there. So was there anything from the event that kind of piqued your interest, John?
Yeah. Well, not maybe my interest, but disdain. They decided to change the term AI to, well, they didn't change it, but AI to them means Apple intelligence, not artificial intelligence.
Oh, okay, yeah, because TM, they got to trademark every thing that's
I mean, they're
normal.
basically, I think a few shows ago, we talked about how dumb Siri was and how if you asked it, to do anything reasonably complicated, it was like, sorry, I can't do that. So what they're talking about here is precisely what I wanted, which is to basically provide more intelligence on the phone and on Apple devices. And the reason why this is important for me is because I want Siri to help me. So rather than getting in the way. And so they give a lot of context here, but it's like, things like, do the things that do what I mean, not what I say type, intelligence. And so they show a lot of demos articulating Apple Intelligence. And I think this is really really interesting because, as you know, all the M chips from Apple include a NPU, and that allows them to do processing of models, etc. And so, minimizing the amount of network traffic, performance is king, as you probably are aware. If you're utilizing in a remote AI service, it can take a very long time to get answers back. And so this is something that I'm really looking forward to. So what we speculated on this show about what might happen is happening. So there you go.
Hats off to them. They did a really good job copying Android. It's really good.
Wow. All right.
It's just an excellent job borrowing features that I've had for the last 6 months or more. Good stuff, Apple.
Well, actually, it's funny that you mentioned that, because one of the other features that they took inspiration from, is the way I'll say it, is you can now do monochrome icons on your homepage for iOS.
Oh, so yeah, that was another borrowed feature.
Yeah. So
that was
a bunch of updates and a bunch of updates there. So the monochrome icons you can see right there, bang, personalize your
people hated on that so bad online.
I know.
They're just like, Steve Jobs is not going to be happy with this.
No, but that's okay. Anyways, one of the features that I'm really looking forward to is, the ability to communicate more effectively with your loved ones. So letting them know when you're arriving, things like that. Some of that you can do today, but it's getting more intelligent. So that's what I'm really looking forward to, because let's face it, the people I talk to the most on my phone are my family.
I will admit the Apple Watch is one of those devices that I wish they would bring outside of their walled garden. I would actually buy this device if I could.
All right.
It's the best watch on the market, but it's a shame it's locked into this. I'll refrain from more comments. This ecosystem.
Yes.
It's not my favorite ecosystem, but I guess if you can't play nice with others, don't play with them at all.
All right.
That's what they're choosing to do. Big Apple fan, can't you tell? And then, you want to talk about the Vision Pro, John? I know this is your favorite one.
Stupid.
This is.
Oh yeah, this is what we're looking for. Oh, good. Yes. This is not creepy at all.
Another release that had a lot of people just shaking their heads, wondering what's going on. There wasn't a lot really new here. There's kind of a footnote in the whole event. Nobody really talked about anything.
Well, the Apple Intelligence was the big thing. That was really the big one.
Yeah. I'm talking about from the Vision Pro perspective, though. People were like, Vision Pro 2, OS 2 is announced. And it's like, it didn't really change anything. It's still a device that nobody has, wants, or owns.
No.
So
no one can afford.
It's giving Meta great ideas. That's
okay. There you go.
They're just immediately poaching anything that's decent from it and implementing it. So thanks to Apple Vision Pro, the Meta headset now has floating independent windows instead of being docked to a bar, which was really annoying.
Yeah, this won't get exhausting.
Yeah, thank you for that.
This won't get tiring at all. People want to use this all day.
Yeah, really. Let's move on to some web news. We got a new update for React. We're up to React 19 now.
Yeah, I mean, this news has been out for a while, but Bo did a really good job of summarizing what's new in React 19. So if you're all curious, this is a course that's probably on the most popular course on the courseware planet, on the location on the planet, which is the free codecamp.org website. And so Bo goes through a summary of what's available there. You can check out the docs. We won't bore you with what's new there, but lots and lots of stuff in React 19.
Yeah, the big thing is the use API. I think people are probably learning a lot about that right now. Again, the way I understand that's more for Next.js and stuff that implements React, but not a React guy, but that's the big bits that I heard about.
You will be one.
Tentative roadmap for Wolverine 3.0.
Yeah. So Jeremy Miller and friends have been working on Wolverine for a while. It's a great little project that could. I actually think it's got a lot of legs, and the roadmap for 3.0 is going to support .NET Aspire. If you're all curious, Wolverine's this sort of like, it's touted as this next generation .NET media or message bus. There are a few solutions out there that do this, but the nice thing about Wolverine is that it brings some modern thinking around this. So you can check it out at wolverinefx.net. Like I said, Jeremy and Miller and others have been working on this for a while, and 3.0 roadmap if you're all curious.
Nice. We're going to shift gears to the biggest topic in town, and that's AI. There's a lot of AI going on out there.
All right.
There's some good, there's some bad, there's some ugly. Let's talk about this first topic. Meet GitLab Duo Workflow, the future of AI-driven development.
Yes.
You posted this, John. What is this new AI-driven development?
So GitLab has been doing a lot of work in the space. I mean, for all the talk you hear about GitHub and such with AI and Copilot and such, GitLab is still, crushing it in terms of their capabilities. And during their 17 launch event, they announced GitLab Duo Workflow. And so this is touted as an anonymous AI agent, and so it will transform the way teams build and ship software. So it's basically, when you read the literature from GitLab, it's all about DevSecOps. So the DevOps plus security. So they talk about their platform here and having an AI agent that will allow you to complement what's available there. So yeah, this is kind of the aspects of this. So they touted in basically a number of use cases. So the first one being development automated. So straight from the IDE, Duo Workflow helps plan and prioritize tasks tailored to individual projects and define organizational processes. There's a lot of sort of marketees, if you will, but basically it's an AI assistant to help generate some work for you. So it will do things like automatic merge requests, similar to what you see with GitHub, where it can auto-gen PR messages, etc. Intelligent continuous improvement. So analyzing source, suggesting updates, etc. Third one being proactive security and compliance, and the fourth one being self-optimizing performance. So this is kind of like syntactic and semantic analysis of source code, providing suggestions, etc. So when they talk about these things, they're basically helping the developer do their job a little bit more effectively. So to a certain extent, it is similar in many ways to Copilot, and this is for GitLab.
Interesting. So yeah, I think I haven't seen this part of GitHub Copilot, so this looks new to me.
GitLab, not GitHub.
Yeah, I know you said this is similar to Copilot. I haven't seen these features in Copilot.
Oh, so they're not going to be one for one. They're going to differ, obviously, in many ways. But the whole idea of Copilot helping you along the way is similar to the way in which GitLab is now providing these helper tools.
The way I see Copilot, it more or less like helps you write code, where this is doing more managing your workforce type of a thing, like issuing tasks and
there's a little bit of that
program management type utilities and things, kind of with an AI twist on, being able to look through the code and understand some things that are going on there. And, from a security standpoint, maybe the folks at Microsoft could have used something like this, because Recall got recalled. It was even more hackable than you thought. So a new discovery in the AI-enabled feature found that historical data can be easily accessed by hackers without administration privileges. Only contribute to the sense that this feature is a dumpster fire. So they shelved this temporarily.
We should probably explain what recall is.
That's a good
idea.
John.
Recall is this capability built into the next version of Windows that will take basically snapshots of your desktop, try and grok what you're doing, and then provide you a mechanism by interpreting those screenshots of what it is you're doing, and then providing you a mechanism of going back in time. I think that's kind of it.
Yeah. Yeah, so have you ever seen the Black Mirror episode where the guy has the implant that records everything he does? That's kind of what this does, but for the PC, not for like the human. So, as you go throughout your day of working, surfing the web, doing your activities, this thing is looking for key events to take screenshots of. So if you ever
Sure.
go back and say, remember that one time I looked for a red car, it'll go back and like pull up, web pages and pictures
Yeah.
that you downloaded and anything with that context. So you can kind of surf through and remember where you left stuff. So it was a neat idea, but people didn't like the fact that it was taking screenshots and cataloging them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it looks like it wasn't behind enough security that you couldn't easily get in and get those screenshots out.
Yeah.
So, you imagine you're filing your taxes, there's a lot of sensitive information on the screen, and something's going through there and taking screenshots, and it's not in a secure location. It could be a recipe for disaster. So,
Yep. Yep.
it got shelved temporarily till they figure it all out. Speaking of things that are shelved, the rabbit.
Oh, good.
It's back in the news. It's dead, but they're still, examining the crime scene. And there's now a post about the code base had hard-coded API keys in the code.
Oh.
And there were all sorts of things like read every response from the R1 that has ever been given, including ones that contain personal information. And this is for all users. This isn't just for your personal device. This is like reading all responses that have ever been asked to any of these units. There's also an API in there that will brick all of the R1 devices connected to the internet.
That's great.
Replace every R1's voice. Like every. This is like an all like you can broadcast this out and just demolish these devices. They left all that stuff wide open.
Not patch.
This isn't like all devices you own. This is like all devices that are connected to the internet anywhere. Or, this is a massive exploit.
Who reported this?
There's an account called Rabitude.
Okay.
Rabitude. I guess there's people that have been hacking these as soon as they came out and got their hands on them. They've been digging through source code. One person made one into a proper Android device and then made the app that it uses an Android app, but like turned this thing into a phone. They're like, this is what it should have been all along. So it came full circle. It's been funny to follow. It's been amusing. But somebody got VC funding and built a bunch of these and sold them, and people bought them. It's scary times.
That's the saddest part, that people bought them.
Yeah. I mean, they were $200 into Geeks.
I don't care. They're dumb.
People buy Raspberry Pis and things like that. They bought this I don't think anybody bought it with a serious intent to use it. They bought it more or less as a play thing to hack and like, it's $200 of tech that basically geeks can, hack and play with. So they were like, let's get one and
that's see like what's 2
inside.
years of Netflix, isn't it? In the US? Like, come
on.
But,
it's a learning opportunity. You take this thing apart, you hack the code. I mean, you're learning as well. So
I bet you there's nothing underneath that plastic. It's not much.
Apparently there's some API keys underneath that plastic.
Well, yeah, okay, fair enough.
Speaking of machine learning, that was the idea of that device, by the way, was to be, it's like a chat GPT portal. That's all it does.
Much.
It's a microphone.
It was really like, the interface was weird. I didn't understand it.
Which I've seen all kinds of stuff now that this thing inspired. There's a new company out there that's got earbuds that they just have chat GPT on board for whatever reason.
Why not? Of course.
Take device, insert chat GPT to device, sell that device. That's the new gold mine.
That's every product demo ever this year. It's like, now with AI.
I can't say I'm above it. I have one of those too, which I'll show you in a little bit. So with that said, segue to something that's actually
Hey.
really, really useful. I brought this up on the show probably 2 years ago. And I remember when it started, it was 3 years ago that it started, but I think we were talking about it maybe 2 years ago. This is on GitHub, and it is a page called Microsoft/ML for Beginners, ML-4-beginners. And it is a full course on machine learning as a beginner curriculum. And it is, I don't want to say the wrong words here, but it is not certified, but recognized
Okay.
by MIT, I think.
Oh,
So it's a recognized course. I don't know what that gets you if you complete it, but it's got some legitimacy, for lack of a better term.
incredibly
I
badged.
guess I guess teachers can take it and teach it, maybe
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
what that means. So
Yeah.
there's a for teachers page and stuff in here, but there are several chapters to this that you can go through and learn all about machine learning. Some very great people have been involved in building all of this, so highly recommend checking it out.
Hmm.
One of my favorite people, Jen Looper, was involved in all of this.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, make sure you jump in if you want to learn about Python and machine learning and how to
Jupyter
do.
notebooks. A lot of
Yeah,
notebooks.
Jupyter notebooks are in here.
Yeah.
Natural language processing, how to score models, clustering classification, all that is in here.
Hmm.
25 lessons
That's a lot
plus
of content.
extra credit. Um, yeah, PDFs of all the curriculum. I mean, this is
Wow.
some serious stuff. This
Wow.
took 3 years for them to build all of
I can
this out.
imagine that is a lot of work. I've built courses and it is an insane amount of work.
There's Seth from I remember him from Channel 9 back in the day,
Oh, yeah.
Seth Juarez, and he's
Mm-hmm.
brilliant at explaining this stuff, by the way.
Hmm.
He's been doing machine learning before it was cool. But I mean, this is just an or not overview. This is the PDF version of it. It is 264 pages long. I mean, this is massive amount of content here. So make sure, oh, you can't see me open the PDF, but the PDF was 264 pages. Lots of good stuff. So make
Nice.
sure you check that one out. It's up on GitHub. Just look for ML for Beginners. If you do a quick search, you'll probably find it there. With that said, John, I've got a little bit of a mashup to get into, and
Oh, good.
this is a self-serving post. So our team that works on the design system for all of our components here at Progress.
Yes.
We have a design
Yeah.
system that goes into the Telerik UI and Kendo UI themes, and that also powers our theme builder. And like, there's this whole WYSIWYG tool that you can use to change your, the design of the components by injecting colors into the design system. Folks are asking for the link, I think,
I'll
for
go. You keep
the.
going. I'll include it.
I've got it on hand here. Or actually, you get it. My keyboard isn't working.
What's all happening here?
It's got some weird link on it. It's anyway. So new design system. We have evolved it to use CSS variables in place of Sass. You can still use the Sass. Don't get worried if you're, interested in this and you love Sass. That still works, but now we have CSS variables, and we're going to be migrating over to that system. What's awesome about CSS variables is this is web standard tech, right? What's nice about web standard tech is you don't need a build tool to make it work. So
Yes.
with Sass, you want to change colors of your design system. This is something you have to do at development time, and then you have to build it. You have to have that part of your CI/CD pipeline, all of that. Dynamic CSS variables, you do not. So you can do some really cool stuff with it. So I'm going to share a demo that I built. This is a demo proof of concept Telerik UI for Blazor application that uses this design system. We've got the fancy AI prompt here if you want to see what that looks like. You can do the obligatory, like, ask it a question. What is the Eat Sleep Code show?
Oh no. Joe Zack.
Joe Zack. Woo, Joe Zack. I don't even know. Is that a real person? Joe Zack?
That is my alter ego, Joe Zack.
Oh, okay. This is what people refer to you on nights and weekends? Joe
Sure.
Zack. Interesting. All right.
It's a very
So
manly name. It's like Chuck Steak, you know?
Bob Bobberton. So that is a great example of how AI is completely wrong and doesn't care. But we've got some things happening here. The design on this is not the best, but I just threw a couple of components on the page so we could see what they look like. We've got the Telerik UI for Blazor AI prompt. I hooked it up to the OpenAI API service. You can give it a prompt. I did some fun stuff by letting the service talk to Azure and getting an actual voice back that will read out loud, which I think everybody heard.
We did.
And then these are components out of the library, so I don't have to write any of the UI stuff. This is all just part of it. So over to this page, we're talking about CSS and doing dynamic theming. It's like, what if we let the AI generate a theme for us and then change the theme in real time? So I can take and add a file here, and let's see. I've got to go. You cannot see my file chooser.
That's okay.
But you will see. Yeah, it's probably better if you don't.
Secretfile.txt.
Well, I need to go into. I need to actually find the folder, so I'm nosing through my system here. And
so I hope we get to ask the AI
work
assistant
things.
The theme.
All right.
That'd be very nice.
So I'm going to take a file here and upload it. And it is quickly scanning that image. And you notice it picked this yellow out of the balloons. And then it's got the palette here. So it generated a palette, and also the component that it's inside of, the card component, the button, and the like button is themed to match what it picked. So let's pick another couple of these. Let's do something with some nice greens in it. Let's do something. I like coffee. Let's get a nice coffee color in there. Whoops, I accidentally hit clear. Darn it. Let's do that again. Here, I can batch this. Let's do a batch of them. Got a couple icons and weird stuff I don't want. Let's let it. There we go. Man, that's quick. That is nice and quick. All right, so the AI is dragging colors out of these photos. And then I've got the set as theme button here. And in real time, I can go to any one of these and just click. And I'll go back to my AI prompt. And you can see I've dynamically themed my website based on a photo that was analyzed by AI.
That's nice. That's nice.
In real time. Like, this is not, no compilation of SAS variables and all that nonsense. It's just pure web doing what the web does best. So,
yeah. I like it. Nice.
No Adobe Flash plugins. There's a little Silverlight. No, I'm just kidding. There's no Silverlight, guys. No Silverlight. So I thought that was a fun example of what's possible.
Good. I like that one.
With AI tech, right? So we've got the blending of AI and UI together to do something that's really cool. So
It's like the nuts and gum combo from The Simpsons, together at last.
just don't ask support. No, I'm just kidding. Support has to love me. I'll just come up with these wild demos. And,
Oh, I know, yeah.
Like customers are probably like, how did he do that thing? And they're like, oh, and again. Why?
Yes.
Why is he doing this to
Curse
us?
you.
Right. So that's something that we just had in our release this month. When we released our new UI components, they came with an AI component to them, and the new theming capabilities are just something I've been waiting for a long time. The CSS tech just finally caught up to where we can do that kind of stuff. CSS has needed variables for far too long. And it got those. They're mainstream now. But what actually made the theming portion of this possible is that CSS also got color functions. So you could take, color A and blend it with color B and get color C. So what you see in here on the dynamic theme when we upload a file in is it's taking this color and then blending it out to the white and black spectrums to give you a color palette. And then you could set that color palette as your theme. So brand new CSS tech that we're leveraging to get rid of potentially. Yeah, you can still use it, so it's still there, but you could potentially get rid of a tool in your build pipeline, and that's always nice for stability.
Yes.
Because the less things you have to shove in the CI/CD pipeline to go wrong, the better. I think that's a pretty safe rule of thumb, right, John? You do this deployment stuff.
Less is more.
Like I remember a long time ago, I've said it probably too many times. I was building an app when, the whole web framework bonanza started with Angular versus React versus all the new hotness every week. And I built, I was building an app and I changed the CSS file and it crashed my app. I was like, why? Why would it do that? It's because it read some line in the CSS file, thought it was JavaScript, tried to execute it, and then blew up the app. It's like, we shouldn't be doing this. Stop. Just stop. Stop it, Angular. Don't do that. That wasn't Angular. It was Webpack. Stop it, Webpack. Don't do that.
Yeah, I was just going to say, and when things go wrong in Webpack, no one can hear you scream.
Yeah, and when Webpack is being abstracted by the framework, you blame the framework like I just did when it wasn't really, the framework's fault. It was dependency.
A good craftsman does not blame his tools.
I think my dog is trying to tell me
your dog agrees with us. Come on, your dog agrees.
To end the show. It's time to end what has been a long time coming, Eat Sleep Code. But here we are.
There you go. Sorry for the delay.
Thanks for joining me, John. It was fun as always. We had some good things to talk about. Some fun things to kind of pick on a little bit. I mean, the rabbit's always fun. Yeah, I'm sad that it's dead and gone. Like, what are we going to talk about next week now?
Oh, believe me, there's a lot to talk about.
More AI?
Sure. More VR, more AR. Sure, why not?
Oh, there's plenty of VR AR news. I'm not
asking for you to elaborate.
I spared you this week. Oh, I did forget one link. Wait, you'll like this one. I promise you'll like this one. You reminded. See, you should have stopped when you were ahead. You reminded me. Now this one's really cool. I think you might actually like this. I gotta find it really fast. It was on a Twitter thing. That's why I forgot. Oh, here it is. Let me make sure all my private stuff is closed. All right, and then I'm going to zoom in.
This better be good. This is such a long setup. This better be really good.
This is cool. I like this. So I do a lot of like home improvement stuff, so I think this is handy. So this is a web app.
A Kia app or something?
This is a web app that you can just go visit that somebody built. It's on GitHub. All right, check this out. Like, how many times have you had to measure something? You had to get out the old measuring tape, and it's a whole pain in the butt. And that
you don't need a measuring tape. You can do this with lasers now. That's kind of neat. That's kind of neat. You can do that with the iPhone. You can do that with the iPhone today. But it is good. It's more precise.
Yeah, I like this because you're looking at it. I'm a very visual person. Maybe you want to center something on the wall. You could do this and get your hammer and, start pounding away on your picture frame hanger, whatever it is, without having to like get
You know
out the
what's be cool
measuring
about this?
tape.
Actually, I
And
just considered this. You know what would be cool is if you could actually tell me like where's exact center, or I have 3 nails to put in, space them out perfectly across the wall. That I would like, because
yeah,
that is
you could
something
do that.
you have to you have to write. You have to do a lot of the back of the napkin sort of math to figure out how they space out directly, rather than measuring. Don't just measure, but then tell me where the nails go in if I'm hanging something, that sort of thing. So it's called real measure. Is that the name?
Yep, I'm popping that
All
into
right.
our GitHub, or in our chat, and you can launch that. And if you take the URL back off of it and just go to the GitHub IO, or you could probably find it on. I'll
Oh,
find it on
exactly what
GitHub real
Thindle
quick.
just said. Here's a stud. Give me a marker on the rest using an X spacing. Exactly. So typically it's 16-inch or 12-inch. I can't remember what the stud widths are
Yeah, it's 16
in.
inches on center.
Okay, so there you go. Exactly. So Thindle just put a comment in there saying, "Give me the nail locations for each stud."
Yeah. So it's hosted on GitHub. I'm sure if you look at the URL, you can figure out where the actual code is and play with it.
As much as I crap on AR and VR, this I like. So Ed,
See, I told
congratulations.
you.
You found me something that I like. So
I
there you go.
told you would like that. I genuinely like this. I've been doing a lot of home improvement stuff lately,
Yeah.
and it was a meme around the house that we could not find the tape measure because we were using it so much, and it kept getting put in drawers. And
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was like, "Oh, this is cool. I can just put on my headset and like." Not only that, like you can, you have your hands free when you can mark the walls with these lines.
Yes,
With
yes.
Yeah, I'm putting like, physical painter's tape up and drawing lines and, poking holes, and it's just one hack after another trying to hang things on the wall and whatnot. So I like it.
Yep, I
Like
do.
it. Glad you mentioned AR. Like we needed to go back and talk about that. So with that said, John, I will let you go and enjoy your day. I know it's early in the morning there, and I'm going to go have some dinner here. Thank
Fantastic.
you for joining us in chat, and we will see you soon.